Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want this in your life? Next question. What would having this in your life do for you or for your relationships? Ready for the next question? Because this is something we're going to do a visualization to do this one. So the question is, what's stopping you from getting what you want? And what I'd like you to do is sit back and relax in your chair, and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine you're walking down a road towards your deepest desire. And there's something in the road. What is that something that's stopping you from moving forward? What does it represent? And then feel if there's any emotions that are coming up for you as you look at that block. And I want you to sit with this for a moment. Think about what you see, what you're feeling. Are there any voices that are speaking to you about this block? And then I want you to slowly come back and open your eyes. And then write down what you saw in the road. And then once you write down what you saw in the road, I want you to write down the feeling that you had when you looked at that blockage in the road. If you didn't see anything, that's fine. Some people just don't have blocks, but and I want you to be honest with yourselves too. And we'll wait till everybody's done. I still see some people writing, so I don't want to move on until I see everybody's finished. Is anybody not finished? Hi, Happy. Okay, I'm going to ask, and you don't have to, but I'm going to ask if anybody wants to share what they saw and then what they felt. And it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you do.
So for me, when you ask me my block or what's getting in my way, all I pictured was like an iron rod, like a squared iron rod. And it wasn't very big. It was like this long. And I'm like, that's what I came up for as a block, because I'm thinking I can just pick that up and carry it with me, or I can just walk over it. You know?
Yeah, interesting. And what were you feeling? You want to talk about your feeling about when you saw that?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard for me to talk about what I was feeling. I guess I was feeling just like kind of surprised that that was what I came up with for a block. I don't know.
Interesting.
Just surprised and kind of like, oh, okay, I can do this then.
Okay. Right. Happy, you had your hand up.
Hi everyone. Sorry I came in late. I was in another meeting, so anyway, I'm here now. I closed my eyes, switched off my camera so that I don't have to think everybody's looking at me. And then I saw the road, and then it's like, okay, so there's a gate. It's you know, like on those ranches, you know, that gate that you can actually move. So it's there. And there's a tree, a big tree behind it that's fallen over. So there's the gate, there's the tree, and then there's a big boulder just before the gate. Wow. So now I go and I sit on the boulder, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I definitely can't drive here, and I'm not interested in, you know, getting all the help to get all this out of the way. So what can I do? And then I thought, what if I walk to the left and just walk in the bush, and then just, you know, go in front of the tree and keep on walking? I can always come back another time for the car. But that tree, it was so big, it was like, you know what? Yeah.
Interesting. Very, because you had 3 blocks in your road. You had a rock, you had a gate, and you had a tree, and you were in a car. Interesting. Rosemary, do you want to?
Yeah, it was funny. The first thing I wanted to travel and to, you know, do some fun things. And the block in my road was actually a fear, but it wasn't my fear. It's the person I'm with. So sometimes we get a block that's not our own that affects what we want to do. So that's kind of my like, oh, and I just think it was fear of change, but not my fear of change. It's the other person's fear of changing.
Oh, it's interesting.
You know, so,
yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I can have a conversation with you about that later.
I know you can.
Because you know who that is in my life. Okay. So you have all your information, and I'm going to turn this over to Rosemary now, because this is a little bit of a discovery call. It's kind of what I do with people, but these are just a few of the questions that I ask. And Jazz says she has a similar experience with Rosemary did. Did you want to talk about that, Jazz?
No, I had similar, like I actually saw the people who, you know, are kind of holding me back because of their views, their fears, and you know, their expectations of how I should be versus how I want to be. So yeah, you know, and I felt like a constriction, like in my upper chest, like here, like with the feeling of like just kind of like constriction.
There you go.
Yeah, because we hold a lot of that stress in our bodies, and even if it's stress from somebody else, it's not our own stress. We can feel that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Rose. Oh, Tom. Tom has a. Okay.
I'm representing all the guys in the world here, apparently. They all have the same issues I do. The blockage was unworthiness, which I have dealt with for my entire life, which is a long time. And the path I was walking down is a paved path, like a sidewalk. It's probably maybe 6 feet wide. And the blockage was a gigantic boulder right in the middle of that path. And there would be plenty of room to walk around the boulder on either side. But the message that I gave to myself, or that came to me, or whatever, was you have to stay on the path. You can't go around. You have to go through it. And so what happened is the boulder just dissolved. And the feeling that I got was surprise. I've been dealing with that forever. That it would just dissolve didn't seem feasible, I guess. So what that
Interesting. Well, there's a breakthrough.
There you go. Oh, wow. You earned it today, Jolie.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to hold it and hand it over to Rosemary. So do you need them to do anything? So I'm going to
just, if you want to shake your arms and move your body a little bit and then sit back down, because I think when you sit for a little bit, I know I used to get a little antsy when I was sitting too long. So if you need to do that, be my guest, you'll get the brain going again. Okay. So you are energy and your vibration. There's been pictures that are taken of energy fields of people. And if you're in a good state of wellness, your energy field has a bigger area of influence. You can draw more positive experiences into your life in an easier way. And you could also manifest and find or connect with information, people, and things that you would like to have in your life. The difficulty is if you don't have a vibrational match. So for instance, if your energy field is really low and your mood is really low and you're saying, I really want to travel, or I really want to make a change, and the two things don't jive, the two things are out of sync. When you're in a higher state of positivity and vibration, what happens is there's a vibrational frequency match for these two things. And you can then draw these things into your life. And you'll know that you're on track when you begin getting some coincidences you didn't expect, unusual coincidences out of the blue, it seems, or getting exactly the right person at the right time that you need that person, or, just some strange coincidence, because a coincidence is actually a synchronicity to say that you're vibrational matching with the universe and what you want to bring into your life. So the vibrational match is a very important aspect of being in a state of, I guess, gratitude, openness, and awareness for what you want to bring to yourself. The blocks that people have are really quite similar. We all worry at some point in our life, am I worthy? Am I loved enough? Do I deserve this? And those are major fear blocks that actually lower your vibrational frequency and actually block the process, like the big rock in the path, or something else that was intruding on what you want to do in your life. Thought patterns and thinking, it's really strange because I know a lot of people go to behavioral therapy, which is talk therapy relating to your brain and your thoughts. However, the subconscious and the missing part to emotion is actually the subconscious, what we believe behind the thought. It is the early programming you had as a child. So if you grew up in a household that you were told, oh, you can't do that, you can't change the path, you have to stay on that path, you can't divert from it because then you're doing the wrong thing. You might have begun to internalize the idea that you can't make a choice that you want to make. You're blocked. You can't change the way things are always done because your family doesn't allow women to do this, this, and that. You don't have a right to speak out because your family didn't allow you to speak out when you were a child, therefore you're seen and not heard. So a lot of these early patterns manifest as body pain. They may manifest as emotional conditions, anxiety, just feeling bad about yourself and not being able to exact the change that you really want to make. And we all say we want to make changes, but then, like Jolie says, you have to look for, do you really want it and how badly do you want it? Or is there a fear that's blocking this change from occurring? I know oftentimes people will say, I have great intuition, but I'm afraid to listen to it because if I do, I might have to do something different. Or if I listen to my intuition, I might hear something I don't like. Well, the something you don't like might be exactly what you need to do to change something to make you feel better. It may be the desire that you need to change a thought pattern or open to a new idea that you hadn't allowed, or go non-judgmentally into a situation and look at it with kind of clear eyes and say, you know, maybe I'm a little bossy in this situation. Maybe I have to step back and allow the other person to make a decision. So there's a lot of underlying things that are in our subconscious and in our energy field that we carry with us. So the first thing is that this energy field affects not only you, but people in your immediate environment. So if you have a powerful vibration and it's positive, people can actually feel it. If you are in the mindset where you don't feel good about yourself, you might find that you're actually going to like hunch a little bit or feel like something's on you or feel heavier, and you will manifest a different result. If you could try this at the supermarket. So next time you're food shopping, I want you to look for the fastest cashier. She'll be like, or he will be really like putting stuff in bags and bags and bags. They will have the biggest line in the supermarket. Why? Not only do they seem competent and they're going to get you out of there quickly, but their vibration is quick and it's ready and it's right there for you. And then of course, the one that's like lollygagging and slow, their energy has a different feel to it. So I want you to think about this. Have you ever walked into a room and just gravitated towards someone? You can like wave your hand or something because I can't see otherwise. There you go. All right. Likewise, have you ever walked in a room and felt like, ooh, sticky energy or negative energy, right? I think we all have. What you're experiencing is the vibrational frequency match of that person. So a person that has a higher frequency match has a wider area of influence and therefore can also bring into their lives and manifest what they want to change more quickly. So you might wonder, like, how do you do that? Like, if I want something to happen, how do I make this happen? So the first thing you can do is you practice doing something you love. And let's say you're in a situation that you really can't stand. Maybe you don't like your job. Maybe you're unhappy with some aspect of your life. Find that one thing that you love, whether it has something to do with the job or not, does not matter. It could be going for a walk or taking a hike in the middle of the day or reading a good book or getting together with a friend, going for a massage, something that's going to change your vibration. So that way you're in a different mindset. Once you do, if you then tap into your body awareness, and we'll do this, you will get a different answer than you might if you're in fear or in a mood. Okay. So the one thing I want you to do is just close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to put a hand on your heart and take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to imagine in your mind's eye, a person, an animal, a place, something that brings great joy to your memory. And put that emotional feeling into your whole body. Fill it up so that you can really picture the emotion of that feeling. You might feel different when you do this because your heart center gets activated. I want you to think of the thing that you put down as your desire with Jolie before. And I want you now to feel it in your heart, but I don't want you to just think about it because that's in your brain. I want you to imagine yourself doing that very thing that was your desire that you wrote down. Imagine in as much detail as you can and much emotional feeling in your body of actually doing that thing or being in that place. And see and sit with it and see how you feel emotionally about that decision. If it still feels open and good, then that means that you're manifesting this energy in a positive way. If for some reason you have a taking back feeling or a fear, it could be that this is the block that's been holding that thing from happening for you. So I want you to examine it. And then when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes. And if you're willing to share what you experienced, that would be great. Okay, so I don't see who's talking. So is anyone willing to share if they felt differently when they asked their heart or when they're in heart center?
I will.
Okay.
Interesting, when you said think of something or someone, I thought of my my dog that I had years ago. He's over the Rainbow Bridge, and I thought of him, and it made me so happy. And
Okay.
I think about the thing that I want and manifest, and I put that feeling into that, and I felt like this kind of like bubbling up in my body. And
Mhm.
it was a really good, soft, bubbling up feeling. It was really good.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
It's like the fizzy good vibes. That's what I call those, the fizzies, you know, you just like, oh, it feels better, you know, that's a natural state of our being, but we're not often in that state. We're often in the stress state where I'm worried about state. And it's a very different energy and vibrational pattern. Did anyone else have a feeling when they were in heart space? Come on, baby, give me something.
We've got Happy and then Ruth. Their hands are up. So Happy, you can go
Oh,
ahead.
yes. Happy, where are
Uh,
you?
oh, sorry.
There you go. I see you.
Yeah, so I have 2 daughters, and one, the moment she just opens her mouth, she's 32 now, but from when she was small, you know, the way her eyes just become big, and, you know, mama, you know, there's always drama in whatever. So I just thought of her and I started laughing because she makes me laugh. And then I went back to that situation on that road with those blocks.
Mhm.
And I actually, because I can, my mind, I can think up anything and I can do it. So I just simply said, step aside. You know, and the gate opened, the tree went to the side, and there we
There
go.
you go. And you think, you know, I was thinking about when you mentioned the tree. The tree is also a sign of your body, but it's also being rooted, and it's also like family history type of stuff. So you think like, you know, the tree is your family history, your family tree. Cars usually represent your body or yourself and how you move through time and space. So it was interesting you had that, you know, in your memory. And the gate is something that you can choose to open or close, right? So when you choose to make that choice, you know that you can always open the gate and go through. Like that's your choice to stay or to open the gate. So yeah. Did anyone else have a different share? You said someone else had something. Hands up.
Ruth's hand is.
Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh, Ruth.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know, I said earlier in the chat that when we did with the Jolie that I'm not very great at visualizing. When I sit and visualize, I kind of draw blanks, you know. But I know what my blockage is. And so of course, when I did that practice, of course, you know, the one thing that comes to mind is my daughter. You know, I'm a divorced mom. Have one child, so she is always my why and why I kind of push out my comfort zone a lot, and because of course I want to be a role model for her as well, but also she is my why of why I live my life and why I do things. So when we did that, I mean, it was like, even though I could not visualize doing the heart center, you know, I could feel the tears well up in my eye, because then when I do think about her, she's my everything. So, you know, it was great. It was a great.
That's beautiful. So it doesn't matter if you can't see it, Ruth, because that's just another way that we experience energy. And for me, I feel everything. So for me, when I tap into like how my body feels, that gives me a lot of information. So when you tap into your own body wisdom, that's where you're going to find your answers, is how do you feel? And the thing is, you know, that heart-centered feeling is really different than when we're stressed out and we feel like, you know, you're carrying a big brick on your back. It's a very different feeling. It's more open, expansive. It's more accepting. Part of the block about why a lot of us don't feel that is you're judging yourself. You're judging, am I loved enough? Am I good enough? And that's what shuts us down. We forget that when we came here as children, we were joyful. You know, the world like teaches us different things, but we're meant to be joyful in that state of being. And we don't often find ourselves there if we get bogged down with the thought. That's why if you find you're an overthinker, drop from the head space and go into the heart space. Really like tap into the heart energy when you're finding a question or trying to find an answer. There's been research with the Heart Math Institute that is quite amazing. It talks about the pattern and the awareness in the heart energy and how this heart energy actually expands out. And the heart energy is so strong that it creates a pattern not only around you, but around the whole environment that you're in. So if you can begin to listen to heart awareness rather than thinking everything through, you will get a much clearer answer that will bring you more joy than if you're trying to think through a problem. So whenever you're making a decision, stop, put that thought of like happiness and that feeling into the heart center and ask your heart, how are you feeling? Okay, so we're going to try asking your heart now, because this will give you more information that you might have suppressed from your brain thinking things through. So just close your eyes briefly. Take a deep breath in and out. Fill your body with pink light and think of, or I would say emote and feel the feeling of that love that you have for a person, a pet, a place. And ask your heart, what can I do for you? And what is the purpose of my life? What is my purpose? And just quickly listen to whatever comes in that you might have been blocking. What is my purpose? What can I do for you, heart? What do you need? And as soon as you have something, an answer that comes through, trust it and open your eyes. If anyone wants to share, that would be great. Were you able to tap into that heart energy? Raise your hand if you're able to do it. Or did you block it? Okay, sometimes the drunk monkey takes over, like that brain that like runs around like a squirrel throwing nuts at you. That kicks in every now and again when you are like, oh my goodness, I have no time to even relax, you know, and you get these like squirrels pelting things at you. If you get that monkey brain or the squirrel brain, that means that you have to take a few deep breaths, go back in a heart center, and then focus on the energy of your heart center. That's where your answer is. And that's where it always was. We lost the connection when you're up here trying to overthink everything. I like to call that that's a very East Coast thing. You know, like people on the East Coast, we move fast, we talk fast, we're too busy, we don't know how to relax. So sometimes when we go on vacation in the Midwest, or, you know, on the islands, we're like, oh my gosh, it took 20 minutes to get salt, you know, and we get like a little impatient. So that's the monkey mind that takes over when you forget that you're supposed to be in this heart center joy. Okay, does anyone have something to share about what they saw or experienced with their heart? Did anyone get a message from their heart?
Tanya, her hand is up.
Go ahead.
Yes, hi. And I guess before I speak on it, should this be more of a personal, because mine is more business realm?
It doesn't matter. It
Okay.
does not matter, because whatever it is for you, it is for you. It could be personal, could be business. It could just be getting out of your own way and feeling it. So what did you figure out?
So, well, my heart did tell me that I am in the space that I'm supposed to be in to be able to serve as many people as I possibly can. And a little background is I own a home care agency.
Okay.
And that's been my passion since straight out of high school. I received my CNA certification, but I did not go to nursing school, but every nurse I've ever met told me I should have, but I received my MBA instead. But about 3 years ago, and even though I was working in corporate America, I always had a client on the weekend filling in somewhere just because that fulfilled me even more than my corporate job. So about 3 years ago, I met my mentor and I was able to, get my agency in order. And lately though, and I know that and this is about manifesting, and I know that probably my thought process has probably blocked some things that I'm trying to reach, and I'm aware of that. And I struggle with trying to deal with that. And in the block, I'm going back a little bit to the first part that we had. I saw all of, the main part of my business is hiring qualified aides to serve our clients.
Got it.
And in that road, I saw all of the aides who gave me problems while I've been in business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know, and I was and I'm patting myself on the back, but I was a great aide to all of the clients. Every agency that I worked for had to think about who they sent me to fill in for, because they always wanted to replace me with their permanent person. So certain people they couldn't let me service. So I know I'm on the right path. It's just about, and my heart just told me that, yes, you're supposed to be serving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I'm getting, you're very heart-centered too. So you already are so heart-centered and such a loving person that anybody would be joyful to have you in there. And those are the kind of people that you want in your, working with you or for you, because you are heart-centered. So that's what you also need, you need those kind of people around you for your business. So, just keep following the next right step that you are led to do, because that leads you forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy.
Okay, I love sharing. That's why No, so you asked us to ask the heart. As usual, I switched off my camera because I wanted to really. And that was so funny. About an hour before I came onto this, I was talking to my mom, and I'm an only child, so my dad's gone, and I was just thinking. I said, actually, what is the purpose of my life, Mommy? I said, I've been here to protect you. Have you ever thought about it? I'm always there. Even when I was a child, I was your mother, So we had this conversation. Yes. And she said, yeah, I said, now you're 82 years old and I'm still your mother, Yes. I said, but I know why I'm here. I'm here to protect you, to make sure you're okay. So now when I did this hot thing, I had to laugh because it was like, okay, hot. So what is my purpose? And then it's like, didn't we have this conversation before? You're here to protect your mother. And then I said, what? He said, yeah, so what am I saying? He said, I just continue to be the lovable you. That's your job.
That's right.
It was like, okay, fine. And he said, yeah, there's nothing more to say.
No, that's beautiful. And you have a loving energy about you. So your purpose is to inspire people just by being who you are and by giving this love around. And that's a beautiful gift in life to do. And a lot of times we think it has to be something big, like I must, do this, this, and that, when it might just simply be being a positive presence in other people's lives. And that's a very powerful thing to be. And that's really cool. Self-reflection is really awesome. And I always say that the world becomes a mirror. So I always say, look at the people and how who comes around you. So if you have everyone that's negative around you, you start looking at it and saying, maybe there's something in me that's attracting this kind of vibe or this kind of energy. I always say, don't take things personally. Sometimes when someone's in a mood or you're around people that are not quite positive people, you might say, oh, I must be really an awful person because they're not being nice to me. Sometimes it might just be that you don't have a vibrational energy match with some of the people that are around you. And that's why I think friendships change. As we go through life, you might have the friend that, you're always the ear for, and then you go, how are you? And then they go, oh, I'm fine. And they hang up on you after they've dumped on you for 20 minutes. You might find that that's a friend you don't need later in life when you begin to appreciate yourself more and you need more of a balance in your life. So don't take things personally and really look for those moments of joy in your life. The other thing is that negative things we go through have a really loud vibration to them. So I always don't listen to the news. I mean, I look at headlines just enough to know what's going on, but I don't put the news on every day because a lot of it is very negative and it doesn't change or fix anything if I get upset about it and I can't make a change. So as I always say, if you're always going to complain about something, have the solution handy. Have a few things to give, like don't just sit and complain. So you have to allow yourself grace and forgive yourself for times when you maybe didn't do that. Have positive people around you, whether those be friends, animals. Positivity is a beautiful thing. So if you can bond with some positive people in your life, that really changes how you feel about everything. Be willing to forgive, and that's forgive yourself and forgive others for things they've done. And forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean you've condoned it, because people say, well, if I forgive them, it means that, you know, I've condoned all this nonsense. No, it means that you're not choosing to hold it any longer. It's like holding a coal and trying to burn somebody with it, but you wind up getting burned. So forgiveness is a choice, and it's a very healing choice to do if you can do it. Suffering is optional. Don't deny truth, and you know, keep awareness of what makes you feel joyful and what makes your heart feel happy, because that will lead you to things that were helpful. It will also provide you with your purpose, because if you're not living your purpose, you're going to know it. You're going to be depressed or sad or just feel unfulfilled. So begin to really look at the purpose of what you want to bring in and what makes you happy. And that's the where to start. If you don't know where to start with bringing moments of joy and what makes you happy. When you do, it begins to shift you into a different vibration, and you're more able to get an answer for what makes you happy and what you need in your life. Okay, so if anyone would like to share something or ask a question, Jolie and I are open for questions for the last like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? I can't really see everybody, but maybe Jolie would tell me.
I have a question.
Yes.
Tanya?
When you mentioned about forgiving someone,
Yes.
and I know you say you don't necessarily have to condone, but are you healed if you forgive them and still don't deal with them ever again? Is that still okay?
That's okay. I mean, I had one of my good friends had a terrible situation happen to her with someone in her life. And she did forgive to the point of saying, I release you from my constant thought about the terrible things you did, but I'm choosing to let you go and let you deal with your own stuff, and I will keep to mine, but I will not harbor or overthink anything about you any longer. And it released her emotionally from the situation that she had carried for many, many years. So sometimes a release is also being kind to yourself. So that's something that, you know, it's perfectly fine. And sometimes forgiveness is just saying a prayer for that person and asking God to like do his thing, because you've had enough of that, you know. Yeah. And I've done that as well with my first husband. So yeah.
Okay. And I'd like to add to that. You've heard some of you might have heard the expression toxic relationships. Yeah. If you find somebody who is negative, like Rosemary was talking about, I had a friend for 12 years, and I went to adult children of alcoholics it's like an AA meeting, a 12-step meeting. And I found that this person who was supposed to be my closest friend was actually very toxic for me for 12 years. And once I released her, she was hopping mad that I did this. But once I just kind of let her go, and haven't seen her, haven't talked to her. And I felt so free after I did that, because I just released all that negativity and feeling like I wasn't good enough all the time when I was in that relationship. So yeah, toxic. It's toxic for you. Yeah. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
I do have a question, a completely different topic than that one. So, but when I think about my passion, I'm one that has like 500 different passions. And so to focus on just one.
You don't have to.
No.
Don't focus on just one. I mean, I was a school teacher for 32 years. I write books. I work with the spiritual realm. I do Reiki. I love guest speaking. I hike. You know, there's like a lot of things I do. So my thing was, I'm going to do a lot of things, and some of them I might not do well. Like, you know, I learned how to ski. I'm not good at it. I learned yoga. I'm not good at it. I don't care. It's something that brings joy. So do whatever your passion leads you to do, and don't choose.
Right.
You know, if one is stronger, then sure, you can go toward that. But don't limit yourself. Why? You know, why limit yourself?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Does that tell you, Susan?
But just right now in the world, you're supposed to
Susan.
follow your passion and everything, and that,
Follow
that'll
lots of your
show your path in life.
You've got a lot of
like, well,
passion. You've got a lot of things.
I
Don't
do.
limit yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay?
right.
Anybody else? Such a quiet group. So
This is Shay. I just wanted to say thank you both for doing this, because I'm a homeopath, so a lot of times I'm in my center a lot in trying to do these types of thoughts with my clients, and sometimes it's hard to go into that with myself. So I really appreciate it, and it was really great for me to really focus on myself instead of others, which I do all the time, and I enjoy significantly what I do. So I just want to thank you both for allowing me to do it to myself.
you're quite welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anybody else? We've got 3 more minutes, and well, I want to thank everybody who, Happy, go ahead.
So my promise is, I was swearing I'm not opening my mouth. My lips are sealed. I'm not. I look at it, how long it held, 2 seconds. No, I just wanted just to share his comment. I'm an alternative therapist, so I am always talking to people. I'm always. So I just yesterday I told somebody, I said, you know what I'd love most? And they asked me what. I said, I'd like to find a happy Keller who would do to me what I do to them, because I can't sit and listen to myself. I can't do, this amazing stuff I do to them. I want somebody to, so this sitting here with you guys and hanging out, it's really not a bad idea.
Hey, and you manifested it, Happy. You've manifested just what you needed today.
There you go.
And happy, your happiness is contagious. I love it. It's you're beaming, and it comes in on me too. So I need to absorb more of you.
Yeah, I've been in a session.
I'm giving you my heart there. It's dumping everybody here. Yeah.
Yes.
I've attended a session where Happy's been there, and she's like this all the time. It can
Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful soul.
Yeah.
No, I try. You should live up to your name. You should love the way, Rosemary, the way you keep on talking about being happy. It's not, follow your passion and do the wrong things. No, that's not what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're connected to the source, you'll always do the right thing.
That's true.
Oh, and that happiness, that joy, we all have a part of it inside.
Absolutely.
And we are all capable of tapping into that and just really.
Absolutely.
That is what makes happy, not the, no.
Yes.
Have to say.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're at the hour, and I want to be mindful. I want to be mindful of everybody's time, because you all have things that you need to do. And please watch the announcements, because we'll send out the announcement with the feedback form link in there and send it back to us. If you have any questions, you can always tap into us on Alignable, and we would love to hear from you. So I just want to thank you all for coming and making this a joyful time.
Thank you
very much.
Both do discovery sessions. You can find us. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, everybody.